Thank you, Juan. I'm delighted to be co-chair of this dinner and on the board of advisors. I've always believed in the power of stories. 120 days after 9/11, when the attacks on New York happened, South African President Nelson Mandela was standing on the steps of City Hall. And he helped us basically open the Tribeca Film Festival. It was a hard thing to do and a hard thing to understand how to do after all the loss. He shared his personal experience with the power of film. On Robben Island, where he was imprisoned for 26 years, it was the rare movie night that gave him relief. It enabled him to escape the story, and as he said that day, recognize a lot of the fellow people he stood with on those steps. But he told the crowd he learned an even more important lesson on those nights. When he looked around the room and he noticed that his jailers were basically laughing at the same thing the prisoners were laughing at, that they basically looked at the same scenes in the same way, and they were touched by the same characters. In those instances, a little distance got much shorter. And he held on to that for years, and he said when he worked on reconciliation, it was a thing he remembered, that it held space for him. It's the potential that storytelling has to establish a smaller divide for all of us. That's the work that they do with AMA. Through the programming connecting creative artists in Hollywood and the Middle East, or the original podcast, or the radio and TV that they basically produce. The other thing we know is that culture roams, and it roams across stratas of society. It roams on bookcases all over the world, and it sits on unlikely shelves and jumps out on screens, and that's superpower. But what we're honoring tonight is the superpower of our honorees, that they're taking their creative power and they're using it in a way that helps everyone understand and shorten that divide. So tonight, that's what I want to make sure that we all understand and honor. It's the stories that can shift perspectives and change our understanding. And what everyone knows is these creatives, it's not easy what they do. It's kind of hard. It looks fun and glamorous, but it's really hard. So tonight we want to honor their achievement. And with that, I'd like to get started. And also, I want to thank all of you for coming and supporting this organization that's very dear to my heart and that does such good work around the world.